Here we go again. The mics are back on. This is Radio Entrepreneurs. Thanks again, because my name is Jeffrey Davis. I'm host, also CEO of MAGE LLC, the management consulting firm. Thanks to our friends at MTP Software, the leader in sports CRM, who have built us this wonderful studio. And thank you to my co-host, Walter Sullivan. Hey, Walter, does this mean we're talking our show up in the weeds?
We're talking in the weeds.
In the weeds.
And no one's high here today, Jeffrey.
I haven't been high in decades.
I've never been high, but I'm high on life.
I'm always high. Listen, let's come out of the weeds and let's talk to John Gates, CEO
Good thing you didn't come out of the
Ermont.
closet.
Whoa. Okay. Hi, John.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay. So let's pretend Walter's not here. We'll enjoy ourselves a lot more. Tell us about Ermont.
Ermont is a medical-only dispensary. We have a cultivation facility. We don't now have processing and a kitchen, but in the future, I would imagine that's a part of our renovation plans, which we anticipate adding sometime in the next year. We also anticipate becoming an adult-use dispensary.
Jeffrey, they were making pizza for a while.
So the original Ermont, we took over in June of 2018, and the original Ermont had a kitchen and had a laboratory, and they did a lot of innovative things in the kitchen. Shout out to Keith Brooks, who was the head cook there for a long time and did incredible things in that kitchen.
Now, Jeffrey, one of the things about John is he's a recovering lawyer that never actually practiced. I think he should give us a little history of how his mother thought he went wrong originally.
You look like a recovering bear hunter.
I'm not going to take that personally. That's actually a Prana shirt. It's actually from Colorado. I don't know if that's a diss
Is it made
on
out of
people
hemp?
from Colorado, but no, it's not. So actually, I'm originally a business owner in the bread space. So I own a company called Neshoba Brook Bakery together with a partner who was a friend of mine in high school, and we make real bread, the old world way, that we deliver throughout the greater Boston area.
In a stone oven?
In a stone hearth oven.
Okay,
Yes.
the test
Yes.
was out and you passed.
Yes.
That's real bread.
Yes, it's real bread.
It tastes like bread.
But it's actually real bread, even more to the point, and I know we're here to talk about weed, but just quickly
No,
about
I'm
the
all
bread.
into the bread thing now.
Fantastic, because it is an entrepreneurial thing. So it's real bread in the sense that bread was made for 6,000 years, and only since World War II, when Fleischmann started selling commercial baker's yeast to the U.S. Army to make quick bread in the mess tents, have people gone away from the original way that bread was
Steel.
made with wild yeast.
Yeah.
Now it's all with commercial baker's yeast. When you make it with wild yeast, it's long fermented, and that means that the complex carbohydrate in the wheat has a chance to
Where
break
do I
down.
get this bread? Forget the weed.
Where do you live?
Newton.
So it's
I
in
bring
your,
my I
it's
bring
in your Whole
bagels
Food,
in.
It's in your Whole Foods in Newton
I
Center.
bring bagels from Montreal, which are made the way you're saying.
Yeah.
And also in stone ovens, and I can taste the difference.
Makes a
every
huge
day.
difference.
And
And
it's so good, and the breads too. The
you know,
European way.
People talk about gluten sensitivity, and
Right.
we have people write us all the time, and they say, we read about your old world slow rise method, and we can eat bread again because it breaks down the complex carbohydrate in the wheat flour. It allows you to digest it.
What's the brand at Whole Foods?
Neshoba Brook Bakery. The Newtonville store is a little complicated for us. It's the one Whole Foods in the region that we're still bugging to carry us because they have their own bread
There's
oven.
three.
But every
There's
other
three
one.
Whole Foods all
The
around
one in
me.
Newton Center's got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's Legacy.
Yep. We're in there as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But here he is. You didn't talk about being
He's
a lawyer,
no,
though.
No, but he's a serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
That's right. First
that's
thing
why.
when I
This
saw
is what
Walter.
this show's about.
First thing when I saw Walter in the
Attorney.
hallway, by the way, he said, "Where's my bread?" He said, "You didn't bring bread
Right.
for me, John."
But attorney, bad dresser.
This is from a guy who's in a mock tee and a leather coat, by the way. I just want to point
It's a
that
Hugo
out.
Boss long sleeve T-shirt. Okay, mock tea. Never. Attorney, bread baker, marijuana business.
So when I went to my 30th Harvard reunion recently,
Right.
And everyone walks around in those Harvard reunions kind of puffing out their chest and saying, what have I been doing with my life? What have you been doing with your life?
Right.
And my tagline was, in the mornings I bake bread, in the afternoons I sell pot.
Right.
And I thought that was probably the best
And
line
everyone
that
at Harvard
anybody
loved you.
Anybody in my class had for that reunion.
So at Harvard, do they smoke pot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. When I actually, funny story, when I was a freshman at Harvard, we sat down with the RA for the dorm, and he said, look, you're in college now. Anything you do, that's up to you. Just don't grow plants in the windows.
Oh, that's true. Let's not do it. It's like my mother. Don't do it publicly.
It can grow all right inside your closet as long as you put some lights in there.
My mother, God bless her, was very liberal. She'd say to me, I'm not going to ask you what you do. I don't want you to get arrested. Just do it in the house.
She's a smart lady. I have 6 kids, and I would much rather have my kids at home with their friends doing whatever they're
Safe.
doing than out somewhere in the world potentially getting in trouble.
I do the same thing with my wife when she asks me about drinking. I say, I don't want to drink out. If I was going to have a drink, I'd have it with you in the house.
Smart. I like
And
that.
enjoy it.
Yeah, relaxed. I don't have to worry about anything. I misbehave no matter where I am.
That is
So how
true,
do you-
John.
How did you get into the marijuana business? Now, I can see you're a serial entrepreneur. Opportunities come up, but there must have been something about marijuana that just ding.
So, look, there's a couple things. One was that I was sitting in the business that I've been running for 20 years and now 21 years. And I wasn't bored. There's lots that we still want to do, and there's a continuous improvement program to make our bakery better. We have 85 employees there, and it's a management game that I'm in now with that business. However, I had become a lacrosse coach. I could come into work at 10 in the morning. I could go coach at 2 in the afternoon. There was definitely more bandwidth, and this is the rare opportunity in America and in the world right now to enter a new industry. There are very few new industries being created in our world today. And this one was a brand new industry, and there was a lot of interest in it and a lot of smart people that were getting involved. And when I got involved, it was just starting to really explode in Massachusetts. So to me, the opportunity I was presented with was an opportunity that I don't think anyone would have turned down if they'd been offered what I was offered.
But there must be something in your personality, just a little time. You don't like to travel down the predetermined road that everybody likes to travel down. You like to create your own path.
So it's funny, you don't actually know me, although you're looking at me like you do, but that's really true. So my wife
guess
says...
I do know you.
My wife says I have an anti-authority streak, and that's true.
Yeah. If it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck.
I don't like to have to answer to someone else telling me what to do every day. That's always been, I don't know why, it's always been a problem for me. I work better when I'm the one that gets to tell people what I think they should do.
Did you learn that at home, or is it just that you were smart as a kid?
That's a good question. I think that my mom is a conservative political thinker, and she was the dominant figure in my household. And she was very interested in people that have power and money. And I think that as a kid, I rebelled against both of those things and thought that that wasn't very cool. And it started the anti-authority streak in me. So
Walter's in shock listening to us.
The opportunity, but look, I really appreciate your question, because you got right at the core of something that's true about me that not many people necessarily
Well, you
pick
just
up on.
learned something about me.
It may be the way that I'm dressed that clued you into that, but I don't necessarily like it to be
But look at
someone
your
that
career
people
path.
can read.
But look at your career path. Everything you've done has been to be outside the norm.
So I'll
has
give
been
you
outside the norm,
I'll give you maybe a deeper personal
or the
insight.
predictive
So
index.
I am a young member of the DuPont family, and that tag followed me all my life. And I felt like people wanted to know me sometimes because of that. And I felt
Right.
like people wanted to not like me sometimes because of that. And so
Everybody has stereotypes.
I resisted the stereotype as hard as I
Right.
could. That's why I wear a T-shirt. That's why I wear clothes from Prana. And
Right.
I didn't want to be the person that was boxed in that way.
Right.
And I wanted to make my own path. So that meant I wasn't going to do that traditional route. You alluded to that, and most people who I meet for the first time within 5 minutes of meeting me don't necessarily pick up on that. So props to you for getting that.
Look at Mr. Suit
He's-
sitting beside us.
Hey, I have to make a living.
Yeah. No, I did pick up on that right away, and you're a type that I think you like to think about what's going on, not just accept what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's right. So and I appreciate that, because that's a big compliment
Right.
from the way that I see the world to
Right.
have someone say that about me. So I appreciate
Right.
you saying that.
So what's next? Where are you going with all of this?
So the
You
place,
must have some master plan.
the place that we have, I don't actually. I'm a very reactive person in some ways, actually. But the
Yeah.
place that we have in Ermont is an incredible place. So we are 500 yards from Route 93 South, just outside of the city of Boston, with 260,000 cars going by us every day, and we have parking. So every place that's an adult use dispensary in the greater Boston area, and I mean like in the urban core, it's a hassle. You got to find a parking place publicly. You got to get in to the shop, and you got to stand in line for an hour. When we come online with adult use, and we have our host agreement from the city of Quincy, and we're just working through a couple of internal issues around getting a new financial partner. But when we get our adult use license in Ermont, at Ermont in Quincy, we're going to see people able to pull up, park, come in, do what they do, get their business done, and drive back out. And they'll be in and out faster and easier than
When are we
anywhere
gonna
else in the
d-
state.
And it's all about easy access.
When
You have
is it
less
going to
than
be
2
like the
minutes off the highway.
When is it going to be like the banks with the drive-through tellers?
That's a good question. It's a good question. I think before that there'll be, a proliferation of delivery services.
Because I think that's what's going
definitely
to happen.
coming.
You drive in the tellers and the machine opens up, and
Although I think
If you
actually,
have your card,
I
you
think
know.
actually the sort of Uber Eats and the DoorDash model is more what's going to happen.
oh yeah,
People will
Amazon,
go online. Exactly. Maybe it'll even be a drone dropping it off at your house.
Maybe.
Yeah. Right.
Come on.
Yeah. I heard they started drone deliveries
They have.
just yesterday. I
Don't
heard that
ever
on the news.
underestimate the power of Amazon. That's what I've been telling people for years.
Yeah, they'll be taking over our business too. I'm
They
sure.
are.
They sell our bread now at Whole Foods. So
I was
God-
listening
God
to the
bless
radio
Jeff
this
Bezos.
morning.
Is that because of Amazon?
Yeah.
I was listening to the radio announcers this morning, the Dumbos on radio, talking about, should they be breaking up Facebook? I'm thinking, like, you idiots, don't you realize it's Amazon you got to worry about,
Right.
not Facebook?
Right.
John, someone getting into this business, what would you say the ups and downs are for someone looking to do this? I mean, you've been successful in everything you've accomplished. Yes, outside
Well,
the norm.
you don't
but-
know that. You hope it's true.
Yeah, thank you for
It's
saying
bread.
that, because it's true. There's a lot of headwinds in the cannabis space that people don't realize. I think that a lot of people look at it like a gold rush. All you got to do is get in, and it's going to be great. But the truth is, there's a lot of headwinds in this industry. The barriers for capital are serious. None of the institutional capital is available to entrepreneurs in the cannabis space. You're dealing with big individual investors usually, or family offices. So that's complicated to have those connections and to figure out how that works. There is financially, everybody who's involved at any level, vendor or landlord or employee, everybody thinks that they should be getting paid more because it's the cannabis space. So there's a heavy expense side. The IRS doesn't allow us to deduct the expense of selling the product because it's a federally illegal product. So there's headwinds financially that come from that. We have a much heavier burden financially than other industries. In the state right now, anytime you grow an agricultural product in concentrated levels anywhere in the world, you're dealing with pesticides. So there are organic approved pesticides that they spray on those beautiful organic apples that you guys probably both buy at Whole Foods and enjoy, and you don't think twice about it. But we can't use any integrated pest management in Massachusetts. It's not approved.
And it's become a big issue.
It's a huge issue. It's a huge issue. At the dispensary that I run in Quincy, and it's not something that anybody wants to talk about publicly, but I'm happy to tell you guys this story. We inherited a problem with a bug called a root aphid. A root aphid is a diabolical creature. It is born pregnant. Think about that for a second. Born pregnant, and they give birth to 1,000 live baby aphids a day. They attack the root base of the plant, and they kill its health. So in the time that I've been at Ermont, we have basically not had a healthy harvest as a result of these root aphids that we inherited. We're not given the tools by the state, even organic approved tools, to fight this little bugger. We had to completely reset the facility, destroying well over $1 million worth of crop, and grow again from seeds. And we're only now starting to see our first healthy harvest. The result of that is overwhelming financially, actually, because we're running a full farm without a harvest. And on top of all that expense, without any of the product coming from it, we had to go into the wholesale market to buy cannabis in the wholesale market, so our patients had something on the shelves that they could buy.
So do you have to treat you basically almost treated your facility like it was loaded with asbestos?
100%.
Wow. Can we get you back on again? These segments have to end at some point.
Anytime.
Really?
Yeah.
Love to have
He's
that.
good to have.
Walter, you actually finally hit one out of the park.
Oh,
He's
you're
from
nice to
Cambridge. What do
say
you
that.
expect?
Oh, no. I like John. I've only listened to John for about 14 minutes, and I like John. And we're speaking with John Gates, CEO of Ermont. John, if someone wants to find you, how would they do that?
jgates@slowrise.com. That's my bakery email address. Hit me up there anytime. I'm happy
I'm
to
going
talk
to be buying
to
the
anybody.
bread within 2 hours.
Thank you so much. It's real bread made the old world way, and it's good for you. It's easy to digest. It has more flavor. It's more nutritious.
Well, we'll
we have a
find
lot
out.
of loyal fans.
You're going to have the Jeffrey Davis test, believe me.
Thank you, Jeff.
And why do you say we dispensary as well as your bread company,
And
so people can find you?
Dispensary's Ermont Inc. in Quincy. It's up near Granite Links Golf Course, and I'm jgates at ermontinc.org.
And Walter, since you're a starving attorney, how can they find you?
At waltersullivanlaw.com, and my email address is wsullivan@waltersullivanlaw.com.
Well, then I think
I
we've-
love your promotion of me.
Well, I guess we've covered the bases. My name is Jeffrey Davis, and we're going to be back with more stories.